Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to The Burning Truth. I do apologise if there has been some form of feedback in regards to what's just come on the air. We just had a technical glitch, possibly. Not 100%. It might be a bit of a feedback issue, so we do apologise if you can hear like a double playback. However, right. Just checking on numerous things. That's all. So just to get things sorted out. But the good news is we are moving on with the broadcast now. Right, glitch aside. If you haven't heard it, then that's all good. But it's just on my side of the things then. So we do apologise if made you panic over nothing. Now, allow me to introduce myself. I am the Funk Soul Brother, a former bully, I wouldn't say I'm I wouldn't say I'm the bad boy of British wrestling anymore. I'd just say I'm just Matt Burns, and with this, this is the Burning Truth. Now, in regards to recent weeks, we've been having some technical issues on the show, and last week we ended up missing a show due to some personal issues and some illness and sort of technical issues at the same time and scheduling issues. Now, what you might not know is I have actually had a bit of an illness recently, which has actually been limiting me in regards to what I can do and what not. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to go into details of the said illness. However, the good news is the illness is actually going away, and I'm actually getting much better, and being able to maneuver a lot more. So hopefully, I should be back on the roads, attending to shows, be it either wrestling myself or to actually be there to watch the wrestling show, review a wrestling show, and or even possibly even to do more interviews. Now, aside from that said illness, at the same time, I also got diagnosed with something else, which which I have actually brought up on my own personal website, which is www.matt-burns.co.uk, and I was going to address this on social media originally, but I decided to avoid that and just state it out clearly. The current condition, what I was diagnosed with. I recently got informed I've actually got type 2 diabetes. Now, as you can imagine, that is, can be a shock to the system to some people, especially with people who've got, more than larger average bodies. Now, the good thing about it is it's been caught early on, and I've been able to make a lot of changes. I've had to make quite rapid changes, and with that happening at the same time as the illness, that's why there's been some either certain weeks being missed, or where I've done like a bit of a quick episode. So in regards to it, I do apologise for the short episodes or missing episodes where we've had none. So I do, we didn't know about the situation until only recently, which is, I will say, when I initially found out, it was a bit of a shock to the system. However, the good news is, I'm looking into it, I'm getting that sorted, and we're basically, going up in the world. So I know this that sounded a bit, vloggy, a bit rambly and whatnot. So I do apologise for that as well. But if anybody wants to get in touch with me in regards to it and whatnot, I will say I have been getting regular checks with doctors, and they seem to be happy with me progress that I've been taking. So if anybody wants to chat to me, you can send a message to us. But I'll explain where you can message me in regards to that shortly, because aside from that issue, we have had some other technical issues at the Burning Truth as well. Now, some of you who have got Facebook, got the Burning Truth on Facebook, will have noticed late hours last night, early hours this morning, that there was a post thrown up quite quickly on Facebook on the Burning Truth page, which basically stated that the Burning Truth, the official Burning Truth website, now has a new web link. Now, unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties and whatnot and changes, unfortunately, the old web link went down and doesn't appear to be coming back up. So what ended up happening is a brand new website link. Well, a brand new web link location has been quickly purchased and been sorted out immediately, which the web link, the now new official website, so it's no longer www.theburningtruth.co.uk. It is now officially the www.theburningtruthuk.com. That is the new website link if you want to catch up on us. And the good news about it is, with us doing the whole transfer, we haven't actually lost any information. It's everything that was on on the old link is fully up and working. So that's the good news and whatnot. So which I'm very, very grateful for. On top of that, with us getting this new website link, we've also got a new mailbox. Now, I will state that the old mailbox, which was the burningtruth@outlook.com, it is still in play and possibly can be checked out. However, if you want a more immediate response, if you're sending emails you want to send an email to the Burning Truth directly, send it to info@theburningtruthuk.com. I had to pause then for a minute and just make sure to get it right. So I'll repeat it again. It is info@theburningtruthuk.com. However, the old one does still work. However, you might get a bit of a slower response, or if necessary, and you don't want to enter the email address yourself, just go to our website, use the contact us the contact us link, and literally fill out the form, and the email will get sent straight away and whatnot. So you've got many different changes now over the next few weeks. In regards to the Burning Truth, we are going to be making some changes around on the platform potentially. As for what because certain differences have actually been going on, we might be losing some. You may be losing some backdated catalogue. We might be adding a new format, a possible new show. Unfortunately, there is going to be some new changes around here, and in all fairness, as much as we may be getting rid of some old content and whatnot, we're going to be making new content for the Burning Truth as well, which is always going to be fantastic news. Now, on top of that, I know currently at the moment in time, the Burning Truth does actually owe a review still for the Academy, if I am not mistaken, which was for the anniversary show for the Academy, which we do apologise that we weren't able to get it out before the most recent one, which I couldn't attend to due to illness reasons and the fermented diagnosis that I just mentioned earlier on. Now, on top of so one change that that I'm going to be trying to implement, depending on how many shirts, because if I'm not mistaken, we did actually mention that we have got shirts on sale for the Burning Truth with the official logo. Currently, at this moment in time, we have still got 1 extra large left, 3 medium, and 2 small. So if anybody is interested, they can send me a message that either through the email, either through Facebook, or through our website if you are interested in a purchase of this shirt. However, at this moment in time, the arrangement to have this, we'll have to make an arrangement for either a meetup or for us to meet up at a show where the shirt can be provided and potential payment can be exchanged. But I will say it is a good quality, and hopefully if we get enough shirts sold, we might be able to actually get some merchandise added on to the website. So instead of us and be able to upgrade, so instead of us actually having to bring meet at shows and whatnot, we're going to be able to just send it straight off to you. But once we get that rolling, it won't just be shirts. There will be additional merchandise being added on. So keep your eye out on that on the website potentially once all the shirts have been sold. Now with that all done, and I know that it seems like we've just done a bit of a vlog straight into a bit of merch sales. I do apologise for that and whatnot. But now onto the main body of the Burning Truth broadcast, which is interesting news. We've got Rich Swann, who has actually parted ways with the WWE. Now, officially on the WWE website, they've literally reached a statement that states the following: Rich Swann and WWE have mutually agreed to part ways as of today, which was on February the 15th of 2018. WWE wishes Swann the best in all of his future endeavours. Now, with that, a lot of people can possibly say, "Oh, have they parted ways because of the whole thing with him being arrested and whatnot? Was he actually, was it confirmed?" Now, just to state this, supposedly the evidence in regards to that allegation was inconclusive, or there was not enough evidence for said case, and so with that, the trial or the case didn't go any further. So with that, now since the case may have got dropped, Rich Swann hasn't returned. So both Rich Swann and WWE seem to have mutually agreed to part ways, and possibly with Rich Swann possibly returning to the independent scene. So you might actually be seeing him at places like Evil, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and all over the independent scene. Me personally, I'd love to see him in the UK wrestling and get the first-hand chance to be able to see him in person. Phenomenal, I will state, good wrestler. It's just a shame that what's gone on. It's caused him potentially his WWE career. Now, the one thing I find interesting in this is with him going back to the independent scene, he can actually do something quite dramatic, which a lot of ex-WWE superstars have done since leaving WWE. For a good example, Cody Rhodes in ROH. He's been making a massive name for himself. Now, potentially, is he going to be going back to WWE? We don't know. Doubtful and whatnot, but you never know. Now, one person I will state that's done a very good job of this would be Drew Galloway. Drew Galloway did this in a absolutely massive way, in the fact that he literally was with the WWE for quite a bit of time, and as soon as he sort of left WWE, on his first time under Drew McIntyre, he returned to the British scene, ICW, started, thumping round, Dragon Gate on the independent scene. He was practically everywhere. The man somehow dramatically brought a new resurgence on his career and has done a very good job of it. So while he was wrestling on the independent scene as Drew Galloway, he's managed to sort of catch the eye of WWE, who then immediately managed to bring him back as Drew McIntyre. But okay, he's not on the main roster, he's in NXT, but it seems more of a fitting role, him being there. And I will state, unfortunately at the moment in time, he is actually currently injured. I think it's due to a possible torn bicep injury. Hopefully he should return, and will be knocking it out the park. But if you think about it, he did sort of go away, come back, and he managed to win the NXT the NXT championship. And I will state, fantastic the fact that he literally had a career in WWE. Okay, gone off track, went onto the independent scene, made a household name of himself, and come back into the WWE looking strong and getting a massive following. Done really great for himself. Now, could this be the same thing with Rich Swann? Now, only time will tell, but fingers crossed that could be potentially the case. Now, moving on from that, I'm going to go to SmackDown and speak about the pay-per-view Fastlane. Now, originally, supposedly, the main event for Fastlane was AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. I do apologise for that. It was a triple threat, and I will state the idea of it, great idea, because straight away it brings in the dynamic of Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn again, and it's very, very interesting with this concept that they seem to be doing. And I don't know what they're doing with Shane and Daniel Bryan in regards to this. Are they going to be turning Bryan? Are they turning Shane heel? Whatever you're doing, WWE, you, as much as you can say you're doing it as a slow burn, it's getting very, very dull. And as much as you can say, oh, it's not predictable, it's going to go one or two ways. You're either going to do Shane's turning heel, no, Daniel Bryan's turning heel, or neither of them. It was all a ruse along. Now, you're dragging your feet, WWE. Either wrap up the storyline with Shane and Daniel Bryan as quickly as possible, now, because I feel as though it's gone on a little bit too long. And it's taken away from some of the wrestlers a little bit. So we want a little bit less of that. Now, the interesting thing I will state, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have been, literally knocking it out of the park with what they've been doing. They've been acting as heelish as possible, vicious. And what was interesting with this week, the Fastlane main event, which was originally a triple threat, has dramatically changed. Because to open SmackDown, we somehow we ended up having the opening match being Dolph Ziggler versus a returning Dolph Ziggler, against a potential returning Baron Corbin. And it's like, straight away there, it's like, well, aren't them two supposed to be villains? And what's going on with Dolph? Because he's somehow gone... It's, as much as I understand the booking, the original booking for the Fastlane main event has already been booked. Now, Shane McMahon's adding on top of it, let's make it a four-way. So, what I thought was quite clever was that they had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens attack Corbin viciously in the back, showing that, they are willing to do anything to keep it as a triple threat. So it's, so their odds are either one of them winning the WWE Championship from AJ Styles goes up. Now, this is another pay-per-view where they're going to be doing the whole, is AJ going to lose the title before WrestleMania? Which means if he loses the title, it won't be AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which means the dream match is off. Now, they seem to be teasing that. They've done it more than once now. And I will state, personally, I can't see them having AJ Styles dropping the WWE title at Fastlane. He will be going into WrestleMania as the champion to face Shinsuke Nakamura, which would be a epic match and something that would make WWE plenty of money. If they literally have it, AJ Styles drop the title at Fastlane, he's either got to gain it back fast, because if not, that will be WWE saying, nah, we don't want free money, plenty of money for this dream match. As much as that said dream match has already happened in the Japan scene, in the Japan scene of, if I'm not mistaken, in New Japan Wrestling, I think it was New Japan, and I will state, they had an absolute stellar match. It's a WrestleMania match, guaranteed, if anybody's actually seen that match, and people are already begging to see the rematch. To some it's a rematch, to some others they don't even know what's coming, and I can't wait to see their faces if they get the chance to have the opportunity to see AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania. Guaranteed there will be a WrestleMania moment in that match. Now, back onto SmackDown, it was interesting to see Kevin Owens attack both Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. Now, straight away, every person involved in that scene are all meant to be baddies. So, what's going on? And then, from that, it went literally from, triple threat. No, what we're going to do is Shane's going to punish them for attacking him. Instead, they're going to go one-on-one, Baron Corbin against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler. If Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens lose, if Baron Corbin beats Kevin Owens, he gets added into the match, and if Dolph Ziggler beats Sami Zayn, he gets added to the match. So there's a potential of it being either a triple threat, fatal four, or fatal five-way. Now, straight away there, I was like, right, so somebody's getting... So one or two things, in my mind, was thinking, one or two things are either going to happen. Either they're going to somehow escape with a cheat, which then Shane immediately dismissed by saying, if either one of you interrupt the match, straight away you're out of your said match, and they'll be straight in. And it was like, oh right, so they can't cheat, so that might have already spoilt it. So it's either one of them's getting added in, or neither. Or not neither, or actually both I meant to say, not neither. Or it's either one of them's getting added or both. And much to the surprise, both of them got added to make it a fatal five-way. Now, with Baron Corbin, I will say, very interesting seeing him a bit tweenerish, with a bit of the crowd behind him. He worked well with Kevin Owens, and now the problem is, he hasn't done much lately. So, where the fact that he's becoming a potential champion, it's come out of nowhere. So, it's interesting to say in regards to it. Now, for Dolph Ziggler, what I don't get with his angle at the moment, he was the US champion. He freshly won it, and then gave it up. Walked out. So then he had to do a tournament to crown a new champion, which Bobby Roode won. And then Royal Rumble comes around, he comes in, gets in the last spot, doesn't do much, and gets eliminated. So he hasn't got much momentum, and then all of a sudden he comes back, and now he's immediately thrown into a WWE Championship. Whoa. So what's going on there? So what are you saying? He has dropped the US championship, the US title, because it's not worthy of him. So what a great way to bury the title, and also potentially bury anybody who wins the title. And if either Baron Corbin or Dolph Ziggler do win it, no one's going to believe it. There's no momentum. They've got nothing going on. Oh, and they'll say, you got the victory over Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That's it. So they've just been awarded a match straight out. Now, as much as can be say, it's a land of opportunity. Now, there's plenty of other wrestlers who could have had a potential spot for that. Now, you can't just go from zero, from I'm jobbing out straight to immediate champion. Wait, that has happened. Jinder Mahal. They did that, and why didn't it work? Because nobody believed it, because you turned somebody in who went from a jobber straight to main eventer and champion. Not believable. When there's no momentum to explain why they've got up there, it doesn't work like that. So, with that, I'm going to be clearly stating AJ's winning this match, and I feel as though it will be an epic match. Somehow Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will, somehow steal the show with being the top villains in that match, and whatnot. And there could be a potential split with them in regards to, because them pair are going to be fighting over who wants to be the champ more. Now, straight away, I am looking forward to the match itself. However, WWE, ease up on the multi-man matches, because we've had Brock Lesnar doing triple threats for God knows how long, and we don't want to keep doing, multiple, multi-man matches for the main titles. Ease up. Sometimes we do actually need to see one-on-one action. Make it competitive. Because answer me this, if the original plan went in, which is triple threat, how is it that AJ could not beat them in a triple threat when he's beating them in a handicap? Somebody's going to possibly say, oh, AJ doesn't need to be pinned to lose the title. Yes, I agree, but I think he's going to be all over them if it's just them two, because he's managed to beat them in a handicap. Now, anyway, moving on from Fastlane, and I feel as though I've been talking on that for far too long than usual. Now, one thing I will state, we're now going to go to Raw, and this is going to, the next two topics are going to smooth into each other quite nicely. Now, one thing I'm going to be stating is Braun Strowman has been massively getting over the fans, and I will state that on Raw recently with Elias, they've allowed Braun Strowman to do something very, very interesting. Less monster among men. The monster among men. He showed a bit of his comical side, and what I'm getting at is it's when Elias was doing his guitar thing, and you had Strowman come out on stage with a potential. I think it was either a standing or double bass. Standing bass or double bass. I'm not sure which one it is. Please let me know. Please let me know in the comments in regards to it, on which one it is. And it's very interesting because he showed a lighter side to him, and I will state, good singing voice on him. Not too bad, and I will state it showed he's got a really funny side to it and whatnot. And it shows that he, as much as he can be a monster, he has got a bit of humanity, and it's working with the crowd. It's really working. The one thing I will state, I've actually seen Strowman out when he isn't in character, because he does actually have an Instagram profile where he's just himself, and I will state the man seems to be hilarious. Because some of the stuff some of the pictures I've seen and some of the things I've seen on YouTube him doing, he's hilarious. and he should instantly connect with the crowd, and he is. He's getting over. Just take into account, this is Braun Strowman, who was a member of the Wyatt family, wearing bad bottoms that looked like he'd wet himself, and he didn't look. He looked intimidating, but it was just part of a group. He seemed like he was possibly going to get lost in translation. All of a sudden, he is now becoming this beast of a man, this monster. And if I'm not mistaken, he is part of a dying breed, as he put it. There's not many big men like him at the moment. Well, especially big men like him that move the way he does. He is quick. And I will state, he is getting over with the crowd. All I'll say to you, WWE, please keep up the good work with Braun Strowman. Do not mess this up. Now, with that being mentioned, especially with the standing base, or double base, whichever it was, I saw something on YouTube recently, which is by the ADCs of wrestling. Oh, good Lord, this will make you laugh. It was a Braun Strowman Nickelback parody song. I don't think it's actually Braun Strowman himself. It's somebody else doing his voice like him. It does sound quite close. And the song that they're borrowing from Nickelback is, I think, is how you remind me, and whatnot. And his version is called How I Got Over. Absolutely brilliant. I recommend anybody checking that out if you want a quick laugh. And I will state, if it is that WWE's actually done it with Strowman, good on you, because that's gold. It's absolute gold. If not, why haven't you, WWE? Get on it. Get Strowman doing funny stuff like that. It's funny. It's brilliant. It'll make him connect with the fans even more straight away and whatnot. But I just thought to give that a quick shout out, especially with it being linked with the Elias segment and whatnot. Now, aside from the main shows and whatnot, I'm going to be moving on to other stuff now, other than Raw and SmackDown. Which one of them is WWE is actually, reportedly interested in offering a deal to Rob Gronkowski that is similar to the Rousey deal. Now, it's a bit of an interesting thing that WWE is contacting him if he's interested in that sort of deal. Now, it's supposed to be reported by Dave Meltzer in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which is stating WWE is willing to offer similar style deals with Rob Gronkowski, or the Gronk, that they offered to Ronda Rousey. Meltzer's noted that rumours about him, about the Gronkowski making a move to WWE started shortly before the Super Bowl this year. When Pro Football Talks Mike Florido, I do apologise for said that incorrect, said that it wouldn't shock him if Gronkowski retired after the Super Bowl. When confronted about the rumours of his retirement from the NFL after the Super Bowl, Gronkowski responded by saying, "I don't know how you heard that, but I'm definitely going to look at my future for sure. I'm going to sit down the next couple of weeks and see where I'm at." Now, the Observer report also goes into detail on how good Gronkowski has been with his finances as well as his history with pro wrestling. The Patriots apparently moving forward as if Gronkowski will be playing for them next season. If Gronkowski does compete, he is stated to receive about, if I'm not mistaken, about 10,000. Basically, a lot of money for the season, which I'm not going to look into. You can check that out if you want. You can check that out on the Wrestling Observer newsletter and whatnot. So if you want looking more into that, but I will state, interesting deal that would be. But is it going to be the same? It's not. I wouldn't say it would be the same sort of thing, because he has been involved with WWE, but he is an athlete. But is he going to be able to do the transition from NFL to WWE as smoothly as others. Who knows? There's a possibility he could do, because WWE does have a history of, well, wrestling does have a history of American football players do getting into WWE and doing quite well for themselves. Just for example, Roman Reigns, Bill Goldberg, The Rock, and many, many more. Now, in regards to WWE, and as much as I did just recently state that I wouldn't be talking about Raw and SmackDown, I am going to be talking about the pay-per-views, which are going to be linked to Raw and SmackDown, but I'm not going to be talking about Raw and SmackDown directly. Now, WWE confirms that there is going to be all dual brand pay-per-views for 2018 after WrestleMania 34. And if I'm not mistaken, the first one that they're going to be using as this is going to be Backlash, because they have released a bit of a, WWE did release a breaking news announcement confirming reports that they will move back to dual brand pay-per-views for 2018, starting with WWE Backlash events, because they have stated, and whatnot, which will be WrestleMania 34, April 8, 2018, Backlash May 6, 2018, Money in the Bank, June 17, 2018, Extreme Rules, July 15th, SummerSlam, August 19, Hell in a Cell, September 16, TLC, October 21st, Survivor Series, November 18th, and Clash of Champions, December 16th. And I will state, it will be a very interesting dynamic, but are they going to be able to fit it all in? The main storylines for both shows on said pay-per-view. Now, the good thing about what I've just stated, that's going to be a nice way to transition into the next subject in regards to this, which is the fact that they are considering that these said dual branded pay-per-views are going to be running longer. Now, the interesting thing about this, the supposed running time that they're possibly aiming for, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it's been recently commented by Dave Meltzer. Well, Dave Meltzer recently commented on the possibility of running longer events in light of the news that the company will be bringing back a dual brand pay-per-view format. Now, supposedly the format is going to be at least 5 hours long for the pay-per-views. Now, what I'm not stating is that the main show is going to be 5 hours and whatnot, but what it could be a possibility, it could be a 1 hour pre-show and a 4 hour event, which is kind of like how the big four pay-per-view events are currently. So they could just be bringing up the rest of the pay-per-views up to join that format, which would allow WWE to have both brands on the pay-per-views and be able to cover all the storylines that they've got across on both shows. Now, which would be quite interesting, but I will say it might actually be a bit difficult later on if they're going to do cross-brand matches and whatnot, where they're possibly doing Raw versus SmackDown, which I think they usually do that at Survivor Series, but it could also bring some potential interesting matchups as well. Right, now that's all the topics I'm going to be covering this week. And in regards to it, I'd like to thank everybody for listening again, and it's great to be back. Now, if you remember early on at the beginning, I did mention that there was going to be some changes. Now, one change this is a possible change. We are, the Burning Truth is actually considering possibly joining Patreon and whatnot. So I want to hear your thoughts on that. If you think we should join Patreon, and if you do think we just should join Patreon, normally on Patreon we have like a bit of a rewards, in case. Better yet, I'll just stop where I am right now, and I'll explain what Patreon is. Patreon is basically a site where fans, if I actually join Patreon, you can have some of the fans of The Burning Truth sign up and potentially provide a bit of a donation towards us to help with fees and whatnot. to improve, but the difference is these said money that will be provided wouldn't just be for nothing. It will be going back into the Burning Truth, possibly for better tools, better equipment, bigger potential bigger office spaces, sound, professional sound rooms and everything, and actually help out quite a lot, because I will state running the Burning Truth can be quite costly and whatnot at times, and and it does stack up over time. But here's the thing: we're not begging for money, because I will state, the Burning Truth is more than happy to pay the front the bill at this, regardless of it, But I just feel as though we want to use Patreon to bring the broadcast closer to the people. And in the past, the Burning Truth has stated we want to be the people's broadcast. Now, what better way to do it than having the people, stand by us to help us out and whatnot, and stand by us. And I will, but I will state, if any donations are mentioned, there would be like some sort of reward system on there. We could have it where potentially one of them being you're able to download this episode, because at the moment we don't have it downloadable. You can just either listen to us on Spreaker or listen to it on YouTube. But wouldn't it be a nice way to potentially be able to have the ability to download the most recent episode, or or how about this, when we've got interviews done? Would you be interested in potentially, if anybody's interested in being a Patreon, would you be interested in getting it a few days earlier than the usual time for when it's released? We'll make an announcement for the release, but anybody who's is a Patreon could potentially get it a few days earlier. That's just some of the ideas that I've come up with, and what I'm basically asking for. If you think we should join Patreon, do you have any ideas for Patreon rewards? What sort of rewards would you be interested in gaining from us and whatnot? Just send a message. Just send a message to the the Burning Truth or to myself, and let us know what you think would be a good reward for anybody who becomes a Patreon for the Burning Truth. And now with that all mentioned, it's now time to move on to basically some plugs. We've got plenty of places to plug and whatnot. The list seems to be getting longer and longer every time I'm doing this, and it seems like the list is always getting bigger each time. Now, I'm just getting the list now in regards to the plugs, which one of them is the UKWFZ, also been known as the UKWA. I will state, great guys, and they do a lot of photography, and they also do some film work as well. So fantastic! I recommend them. So if anybody wants to check them out, please do literally check them out either on their Facebook or you can also check. You can find. I'll just repeat that. You can find them on Facebook or on YouTube. They absolutely work their heart out in regards to it. Great work that they do. Fantastic. So give them a check out. I'll repeat that. J Printing and Stitching. I like some work from them. They do some fantastic printing work and stitching work and everything. So I do recommend them. They are currently only on Facebook. I have heard that they're going to be having a website, but at the moment in time, they're just on Facebook at the moment in time. So give them a check out. I am also going to be recommending Changes Health and Wellbeing. Basically, this is the same changes that we've been talking about on almost every broadcast episode that we have done in the past and whatnot. For healthy minds and everything. We do recommend you check it out. If you just give it a check out, just for some interesting reads. Who knows? The information could prove useful for yourself or for somebody else. you never know. I'm going to be giving another shout out to Team 4 Star. They absolutely do fantastic work, especially with the Dragon Ball Z Abridged series. It's still going strong. They do great work, absolutely hysterical. They always get me laugh. They've got their website, which is team4star.com, and they've also got their YouTube. They're on YouTube. Just type in Team 4 Star, and you will find them. Now, the next thing I'm going to be recommending is a band that is actually based in Manchester. But I have seen them playing in Crewe, and they do a bit of travelling. If I'm not mistaken, they might be going either, I think it's Scotland, for a big event, which is The New Breed. Absolutely fantastic. I recommend them. You either check them out on their website, which is www.thenewbreedmusic.rocks. You can either check them out on Facebook or even on YouTube. I recommend you check them out. Now, the next shout out is, of course, to he is an absolute legend, either on YouTube, Daily Motion, or even having a website. This man is the legend of the botch. You know, Matthew, I've got to love you. I have got to always say I love your work, especially with Botchamania. So if anybody's interested in checking Botchamania out, go to either their website, which is www.botchamania.com, or literally typing in Botchamania either in Dailymotion or on YouTube to check out some of their footage. I wonder how he actually finds all the footage, all the botches in wrestling. But the thing is, the man's got so much content to deal with, and he's always finding new stuff and keeping everybody entertained. So I believe that will be all the plugs done now in regards for this episode. And with that, I'm going to make this a bit of a wrap up now. So with that, I'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. Great, as I said before, great to be back. I'm hopefully going to be here for next week. If there is any changes, I will make mention on social media far more in advance compared to what I did last week. So I do apologise once again for that, for the short notice. But hopefully I'll be able to give you plenty more notice if there is any more cancellations. So with that, I will hopefully see you. Both. Hopefully, this has been the Burning Truth. We'll hopefully check you. You can have us check us out either at the next broadcast, the next review, or the next interview. Till then, stay well, stay safe, and check out your local wrestling.